We are back now with a 17 News special report on a deadly fire in a small desert town. An old mobile home, a 60-year-old tinderbox, gone in mere minutes, taking the lives of 5 members of a loving family. And amidst the tragic loss of life, an urgent warning regarding fire prevention for people living in far-flung regions of Kern County. 17's Connor Dorr takes you back to the scorching desert community of Aerial Acres in eastern Kern.
Is the house on fire?
It's their house. Their house is spreading. The house is spreading so bad in here.
Okay. All right. We're going to get help started for you right away. How many people are trapped inside?
How many people are trapped in there? There's 5 people stuck in a house.
There's five additional on top of the 2 people?
There's 5 of them inside. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 people outside.
Okay, so a total of 10 people live there. Lots of help's coming from every direction, okay?
You began receiving reports of a home that was fully involved just after midnight tonight.
Well, the whole thing is devastating. It's just very tragic. And then I have kids myself, so I can only imagine the pain.
Oh my God.
Rosario Sanchez couldn't stop sobbing as she captured the scene on video. Her friend's home going up in flames. She knew her friend was trapped inside, along with 4 children.
Every time I come, it's just that feeling of not being able to have done something to save them.
During the inferno, Sanchez could hear a distraught husband screaming for his wife.
I pray to God that they're in a better place because they're babies.
5 people dead. The deadliest home fire in Kern County history, the Aerial Acres fire. About 80 miles southeast of Bakersfield, 20 miles east of Mojave, in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. Land here is cheap. Parcels of sagebrush go for as little as $600 an acre. About 100 people have dragged mobile homes and travel trailers onto half-acre lots on the community's 4 dirt streets. This is where Richard Ventura and Maya Howard crowded their family into an ancient double-wide. It's April 9th. The sun had just set over the Tehachapi Mountains, bringing in a dry, cool night. 9 o'clock, bedtime for the Ventura family. Richard and Maya were getting the kids showered.
My friend that was here with me, he had seen those black smoke coming out from the water heater.
Ventura told his wife about the strange occurrence.
I had mentioned it to Maya, and I was like, hey, those smoke coming out from the top or whatever. And she says, well, why? And I said, I don't know, I'm gonna check it out.
He turned off the propane to the heater, but noticed black soot covering the bottom of the appliance. Believing everything was okay now that propane to the water heater was cut, Ventura left home for a grocery store in California City at about 11 p.m., a 20-minute trip, not realizing the horrific tragedy about to take place.
That night, Monica and Emily had came up to me, and they're like, Daddy, I'm gonna go to bed already. I said, okay, sweet dreams. See you in the morning. Love you too.
Those would be the last words Ventura said to his 6-year-old twins. 12:14 a.m., the first 911 calls came in. The home was raging with fire. That was the beginning of a firefight that brought emergency equipment from all over eastern Kern County, from California City and Edwards Air Force Base. The fight used so many resources that engines from Bakersfield and Ridgecrest had to be called to cover Tehachapi, Mojave, and Boron.
Structure Station 87, Engine 87, Engine 14, Medic Engine 19, Engine 15, Engine 12, Battalion 8, Battalion 1, Safety 2, 18280, Clay Mine Road. Residents reporting their house on fire with people inside. We're starting an ambulance. Assignment on Kern 5.
We got the baby and Maya, and they saying they in the house, and it's on fire, like.
The fire department's on their way as fast as they can.
Kern County Fire Department Station 87 in Boron was closest. Log show firefighters were out of the station and headed to the scene in less than 2 minutes, less than 120 seconds. But the fire was 18 miles away.
There's kids and a mom inside, and the house is burning.
Yeah,
spreading fast.
the fire department's on their way. How many kids are trapped inside?
I don't know, like 2 babies and a woman. I think there's more. The fire is spreading.
Okay, ma'am, they're on their way as fast as they can, okay? The fire department's on their way from all directions. Everybody just stay back, okay?
Oh my God.
Pumping gas at an easy trip just off Highway 58, Ventura was 15 minutes from home.
That's when my friend Antoine, he called me and said that the house was on fire.
Arriving before the fire department,
All incoming units, be advised. It appears we do have working fire. We're still about 10 minutes out.
Ventura witnessed a chaotic scene.
My neighbors over here to the left of me said I could use their hose. I started putting water towards the room. They gave me a fire extinguisher. I used up all the stuff inside of it to try to put it out, but as soon as I stopped, it would just go back up.
Rosario Sanchez's husband tried kicking in the door.
You know how when the fire is too much, it actually blows you back? That's what happened. He almost burned his arm.
Logs show the first fire engine arrived at 12:36 a.m., 22 minutes after the first 911 call.
They're on the way. They're on the way, okay?
But don't go in there, huh? The fire department's coming. Their house is just getting worse and worse and worse.
You need to come!
I know, but
The house is on fire!
I said, "Where's Maya? Where's the babies? Where's the babies?"
Neighbors told Ventura his 3 oldest children had escaped and were safe at a house down the street. The 3 kids told a gruesome story. They were sleeping. Maya woke them. The room was filled with black smoke. She led them through the smoky trailer to the only door that led outside.
They tried grabbing Monica and Emily, but then I guess the fire that separated them. So Maya had pulled Monica and Emily back so that the fire wouldn't hit them. But I'm guessing that's how they ended up getting trapped.
Ventura waited at his neighbor's house until morning.
That's when they told me that they did find the 5 bodies. That they did find the 5 bodies in the house.
6-year-old twins Monica and Emily, 2-year-old Richard Jr., 1-year-old Maya, and their 27-year-old mother, Maya Ramona Howard, all died of smoke inhalation, all in the same bedroom. The coroner placed the time of death at 12:12 a.m., 24 minutes before the first fire engine even arrived.
Honestly, I just want my family. All I can really think about it is that I just want my family. I thought I was giving them a home. I thought I was gonna be able to give them a home where they'd be able to do whatever they wanted. And instead, this happened.
The double-wide mobile home, built in the 60s, was 45 feet long and 24 feet wide. We'll never know for sure what happened that night, but a tragic and horrific scenario plays out in Ventura's mind. This is the kids' room, where the 3 oldest children usually slept on a 3-level bunk bed. The twin girls shared a pull-out bed from under the bunk, and the master bedroom is right next door, where Ventura and Maya slept with 1-year-old Maya and 2-year-old Richard, all in a king-size bed. Ventura believes Maya let the 6-year-old twins sleep with her in the master bedroom that night instead of the usual room. The water heater seen smoking earlier in the day is here. It's in a small enclosure outside of the house. It smolders as the family sleeps until, just after midnight, somehow it erupts and Maya is awakened. In Ventura's understanding, Maya rushes into the kids' room, wakes the 3 oldest, who are able to escape on their own. Those surviving children tell Ventura what they saw. Maya tells them to wait for Monica and Emily, the 6-year-old twins, but the fire is spreading too fast. The older kids have to run for their lives. Fire almost engulfs Monica and Emily as Maya pulls them away from the flames back into the master bedroom, narrowly avoiding the roaring flames spreading down the small hallway between them and the only door. There are 2 windows in the master bedroom, but they are blocked, one by a TV, the other by an air conditioning unit. This is where their bodies were found.
She's always been a fighter. She's always stood up. She'll fight. You know, for her family, she'll fight anybody. She don't care.
She saved the 3 oldest, but she couldn't save the other children or herself. There are conflicting reports if there were smoke alarms in the building. KCFD says there was no evidence of working smoke alarms in the home. Ventura said he had multiple. Maya and Richard met 4 years ago. Maya was 23 and Richard was 32. He had 5 kids. She had none. Richard does odd jobs for money, trash hauling, yard work, and other things around town. Maya, a compassionate person, was a licensed vocational nurse and met Richard through mutual friends. One day, she showed up to Ventura's house with food.
Like, well, I figured maybe you were tired, you know, because you're always working and stuff. So I thought I'd bring some food. She stayed there. We were talking. We stayed talking for I would say all night, probably.
A romance bloomed, and in the last 4 years, their family had grown. His 5 kids plus 2 together.
She's very caring. She knew before her and I got together. She knew that I already had kids, you know. And as young as she was, she still was. She was willing to take on that role.
No one would have survived the fire if it hadn't been for Maya's actions. She dedicated her life to helping the sick and injured, and she lost hers trying to save her children. In Ariel Acres, Connor Dorr, 17 News.
All right, and Connor is with us now. This is an exceptionally sad story. I don't know where to begin, but it seems like Maya was a true hero here. She died trying to save her kids.
Yeah, exactly. And she did everything she could, but that fire just spread too fast. I mean, we saw the video. It was just erupting in flames. And, she was really a hero before the fire. She taking on that big family just because she loved those kids and Richard.
Yeah. We're used to seeing firefighters respond within 5 minutes at the longest to fire alarms, right? But here we have a home out in the middle of nowhere with several other neighboring homes, but firefighters were 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
There was no rapid response just because of the distance they had to travel, right?
Yeah, and Jim, there's dozens of communities like this in Kern County, especially eastern Kern County. I mean, Ariel Acres, fewer than 100 people live there. They're really just out in the middle of nowhere, and the closest fire station was 18 miles away.
Kern County's a big county.
Exactly. It's as big as Massachusetts, 8,000 square miles, and it's just impossible to have all of these little communities have a fire station. It's just too small and too little.
I guess that's the risk anyone runs if they want to live in a place where they won't be bothered, or they just want seclusion, if you will, right? Watching your story, it seems like the fire department dispatcher was a real hero, too.
Yeah, I mean, and we listened to, I'm telling you, hours and hours of 911 calls, and she took these calls, told people what to do, calmed them down, told them how to stay safe away from the fire, telling them it was on the way. Not only that, she was calling Edwards Air Force Base saying, hey, can we get an engine out there? Can we, and coordinating all these things throughout hours of the night.
Pulling out all the stops.
Exactly, and in a very calm manner.
Who was she?
We really don't know. We asked to interview her, but the fire department said she was unavailable.
What's the key takeaway that viewers at home tonight should take from this story, do you think?
I think, ultimately fire prevention, right? Yeah. So we have the reports about the smoke alarms. If there were smoke alarms, it seems like the family would have been notified right away that there was a huge fire and that they had to get out of the home. So make sure you check your smoke alarms. The Red Cross can come and install smoke alarms for free in your home. And then also just improving those spaces. I mean, these are 9 people tucked in this small little mobile home. When you're there at the scene, you see trash bags full of clothes and stuff that are all bundled together. Those can light very quickly. So just making sure that your home, I guess we would say cleaner or more open, so it's safer when stuff does go down.
And to underscore the warning about fire prevention, that goes double for people living in remote regions of the county, of which you've already touched on. There are many.
Exactly. There are many. And
that might be your only line of defense.
Exactly. It could be your only line. And also just having a fire extinguisher would be good too, right? Because you don't know how long the fire department could take to get out there.
Were there issues when the firefighters arrived? Other issues besides the fire, I guess?
Yes, I mean, there were issues. So there were reports that there were power lines down. The fire had knocked down power lines, so that could have stopped them from getting to the back of the trailer right away. Also, when they got there, neighbors had garden hoses, and they were trying to fight that fire themselves, and they were getting conflicting reports.
You had an issue with water pressure?
Yeah, there was water pressure. So in one of the dispatch calls, they wake a guy up at the Aerial Acres Water Company to get him to turn up the water pressure as well.
All right, Connor Dorr, excellent reporting on a most tragic story. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.